Hi, everyone. Welcome to this discussion on the Root Chakra with Lisa Serimi. My name is Elise Ekman, and I'm on the Access Elite team that has brought this event to you today. For those of you who aren't familiar, Access Elite is a health and wellness company that provides on-demand wellness content, same-day prescription delivery, and facilitates live virtual events such as these that you can tune into every day, as well as much more. We are so glad that we can facilitate this event and bring a little bit of positivity and connection to your day. So I just want to thank each of you for being here. And with that, I am thrilled to introduce our guest today. We have Lisa Serimi, who is a marriage and family therapist, a transformation coach, and a yoga instructor. Lisa?
Thanks so much, Elise. As always, it's such a privilege and an honor to be here with you all. And I'm really excited. We're diving in today into the first chakra or energy center. If you joined us last week, we did like an introduction to what the idea is. But if you weren't, think of a chakra just as an energy center that's located within the body, and it houses a lot of information about ourselves. And so finding balance in these energy centers are really powerful. And we're going to dive into the root chakra today. And we're going to look at, we're actually going to first have a root chakra meditation so we can really feel the embodiment of this energy center. We'll get into some of the qualities and the archetypes that we house in this energy center as a way to really understand, am I in balance? Am I out of balance? Are there things that I could do to find more balance in this part of myself? We're going to dive into what is grounding, the survival consciousness that comes with this energy center, the connection it has to the body, and then what are some exercises we can do to bring some balance, and how do we harness the energy of the root chakra in our lives. So let's start with the meditation. I'd like to invite you to, if you can, have your feet even touching the floor beneath you if you can. If you prefer to stand, you can stand with a nice, strong, stance, whether it's hip distance or wider, or you can just sit and really feel the support of the chair or maybe the earth beneath you, whatever you choose. And then just as you arrive into your space, maybe allow your eyes to soften or to close. And as you start to basically take your attention inward, start to bring your attention to the base of your spine. As the base of the spine is where the root is located. Feeling all the elements that come with this energy center, the element of earth, the element of the body, and the element of a beginning. You're about to go on a journey, and it's a journey through the layers of your own self. It's really a journey through your life and through the world within and around you. And it begins wherever you are, your own personal quest to make yourself comfortable. This is not a short journey. It could actually take you months, years, lifetime. But you've already chosen to take this journey, to feel yourself comfortable in your body, in this vehicle that you've been provided to take this journey in. It is your body, and it's equipped with everything that you might need. And one of the challenges on this journey is to keep your vehicle, this body, nourished, happy, and in good repair. After all, it's the only one you've been given. So let's explore our vehicles as we begin this journey and just take a moment to really feel your body. You might feel it breathing in and breathing out. You might feel your heart beating inside, or the moisture of your mouth on the inside. Maybe there's food in your belly, or maybe there's an emptiness in your belly. Just noticing as you explore the space your body occupies, its height, its width, its weight. You might find the front side of your body and the back side, everything on the top everything on the bottom, everything on the right, everything on the left. You might even begin a dialogue with your body so that you might learn its language. Ask your body how it feels. See if it responds tired or tense, and really listen to the answer. How does it feel about going on this journey? You've been given this vehicle for your journey, but it's not something that you have. It's something that you are. You are your body. You're a body living a life in the physical world, getting up in the morning, eating, going to work, touching things, sleeping, bathing. Feel your body going through its daily routine. See the number of interactions it has with the outside world in a day. You might notice interchange of the hands touching doors or steering wheels, or other hands, maybe paper or dishes, children, food, your beloved. Think about how your body has grown and learned and changed over the years. What has it become to you, this body? Do you ever thank it for taking care of you? What is the world like that your body interacts with? Feeling the textures and the smells and the colors and the sounds that are around you. Be your body feeling it all. All of the sensations your mind might miss, that your body doesn't. Feel the hardness of earth in the wood, in cement, in metal, its straight lines, its solidity, and its permanence. And also feel its soft firmness, the earth in its natural state, with its trees, grasses, lakes, streams, and mountains. Feeling her curving gentleness, her protection, her abundance, her richness, the way she appears in many forms, and how she supports you as you sit where you are right now. The planet, Mother Earth, she's a vehicle too. She takes us through time, she takes us through space. Feel the earth as a central, unified entity, a living body just like you, with an infinity of cells that are working together as a whole. You are a cell in this great body, part of Mother Earth, one of her divine children. And here's where the journey begins, on this great body of Earth. This long climb upward begins actually by going down, and we go down into the body, we go down into our own bodies, the body of the earth as our own, into our flesh, into our guts, into our legs, into our feet, digging deep, deep into the roots of the earth, supporting and nourishing. Move deep into her rocks, in her soil, and her guts of hot, red lava, seeping down below into her source of life, of movement and power. And then we sink deeper and we become the base of our spine, and we find a red glowing ball of energy, glowing just like the core of the earth. Feel this molten energy run down your legs and through your knees and into your feet, into the floor beneath you and through the floor and down into the earth, burrowing between the rocks and the roots, finding, seeking nourishment, support, stability. Feel the cord of energy as an anchor, settling you, calming you, and grounding you. After all, you're here, you are connected, and you are solid, but you are also molten on the inside. Deep within your roots, you find your past, the memories of the primal self. Your connection is simple here, it's direct. connecting to the ancient self as the child of the earth and remembering that she is your teacher. What is this matter that comes from the earth? Like the chair that you're sitting in, maybe the tree it once was, or the cotton in the field and the cloth on the loom, and all the workers who transported it, sold it, and sat on it before. Think of the things that you have and the complexity of each one of them in their abundance. And the root connected to our financial abundance. Think of the financial abundance you may have, however large or small it may be. Think of it as a gift from the earth. How did it come to you? What does your body have to do to get it? What do you use it for? Think of this money as a stream of life running into you and out through you, your hands, your feet, your heart, your mind, energy. As it flows through you, feel yourself in constant exchange with the earth and let that feeling of abundance just come up from the earth into your feet and into your legs and into your pelvis and your stomach and your heart and your hands, and feel the expression of it in your throat, the recognition of it in your vision, and the imprint of it on your mind. And just take a deep breath in and let it go down again through the body, through the head, through the neck and the shoulders, the arms and the chest, the belly, genitals, legs, feet, and into the earth, down below the surface of the earth, finding stability, finding nourishment, finding peace. Your body is the journey. It is where you begin. And just like the root, this is the beginning of your connection to the physical world, your foundation, the dance of your home. After all, you are the place from which all action and understanding arises, and to which it returns. You are the testing ground of truth. You are the ground on which all things rest. You are the earth from which all things grow, and you are here, you are solid, and you are alive. You are the point from which all things begin. Taking another deep breath in to the crown, I am, and out to the feet here. 2 more times, all the way to the crown, inhaling, I am, and out through the feet here. And 1 more time to the crown, I am, and to the feet here. And as we've taken this little journey of feeling the energy and the connection that we are to the earth, let us now explore more of the root. So if it feels good, you can open your eyes back up, or you don't have to. So as mentioned, the root chakra is connected down at the base of the tailbone. It's actually right between your perennial and your coccyx. And if you have no idea what that is, it's your private part. So just right there at the very base of who you are. The connections to the body are your sciatic nerve, your feet, your legs, your bones, your rectum, your immune system. And a lot of the associations with the root chakra is survival, safety, body, food, matter, root. Everything of earth element, our monetary existence. It's the manifestation of our consciousness into form, our need to be alive and healthy. And it can feel sometimes a little restricted as we're at the lower chakras, and the root is one of those that can almost feel like a pulling downward into the earth, almost like a heaviness at times. Now, we'll get into the balance when we get into the archetypes. But some of the physical dysfunctions that can occur when the root chakra is not in balance is we might experience lower back pain, or we might experience sciatica. A lot of people within their lifetime will experience sciatica connected to the root, varicose veins, rectal tumors, cancer, depression, and a lot of immune-related disorders. And then, of course, it's not just physical. The circles behind me represent that we are connected mind, body, spirit. So the emotional and the mental impacts that an imbalance in the root can have, it can really affect our relationship to our family or our tribe, which we'll get into in a moment, how we feel safe in those relationships in our lives, our ability of really just meeting our needs in life and being able to stand up for ourselves. So some of the archetypes, and we're going to look at each one of these archetypes in a little more detail, that also are connected to this, is the archetype of tribe or family. We'll look at the Earth Mother archetype and what it looks like when our root chakra is in balance, the victim, and the bully. So as I go through these, I want you to just maybe think about what feels resonant, or maybe it's an experience you've had in the past. Maybe it's something that feels very present for you right now. The one other thing I want to say, I know it's in here somewhere, I don't think it's on this slide, is that when these energy centers are out of balance, there's kind of two ways it could look. One could be something happened in our lives that gave us this kind of imbalance overall. So like over the whole story of our lives, let's say something happened to our root, something happened in our tribe, in our family when we were young, or let's say we had physical abuse or maybe even a physical injury. Something that's big enough like that can actually create an imbalance in the overall scope of life. And then there's these moments in life, right, where maybe we lose a job, maybe something like COVID happens, maybe we get a health diagnosis that is something we didn't want, where this energy center can then be out of balance because of a situational situation. So when we're looking at the tribal archetype, it's really just like this container that we're born into, right? When we're born, we're not able to take care of ourselves. So whether that tribe is our family or community, there's a lot of different ways it can show up. It is the container that kind of helps inform our identity and our personality and our belief systems and our belief patterns. They give us a sense of identity and a sense of belonging. These are really strong cords and really strong roots in our lives. And depending on our relationships around these things, it can kind of, or not kind of, really impact our overall sense of balance in feeling grounded and rooted in our lives or not. And then some other ways that we can identify when this energy center is out of balance. I love to work with archetypes. If you're not familiar with what an archetype is, all an archetype is like behavioral patterns that we can all recognize that are in the universe, right? So when I say Earth Mother, most people have an idea of what mother is and what earth qualities are. So there's less explanation through an image that can be done because the collective can relate to it. So the Earth Mother is the archetype that represents balanced root chakra. So in this space, it's when we feel grounded and protected and strong, secure. We are able from that place to actually find enjoyment in our life because we're not in a place of fear. And when we're able to feel that balance, it's really a lot easier to manifest the things we want. It's really a healthy, optimal place. We have lots of energy. Our heart is open. As we go through these series, you're going to see that all of these energy centers are connected. So for example, let's say as a child growing up, you weren't given a voice, right? So this could affect your root. This can also affect your throat, right? There's a connection to the heart. In fact, the lower energy centers are mostly what are out of balance, and then they affect the upper ones, and that'll be later as we go through the series with the chakras. So the next archetype is the victim. And the victim is really an indication of a deficient root chakra, meaning that this person doesn't really feel like they can take care of themselves. They feel that life is always happening to them. They feel kind of like that childlike energy where they're craving that nourishment from mother. And that lack of feeling of being able to take care of themselves kind of avoids stepping into responsibility for taking care of themselves. It can come from a place of low self confidence, low self esteem, maybe feeling unloved or feeling needy. Um, and they're just not in their power. Now, this card that you see in the image shows that with this archetype, there are light attributes and there are shadow attributes. And with every archetype, we can find them. So in the light, a victim prevents being a victim or victimizing others. But in the shadow, we play victim, or we're really seeking from the outside people to come in and kind of save us to some degree. And it's very difficult for people that are in this or experiencing this archetype kind of passing through to maintain really strong personal boundaries. So of course, we're looking on the edges of the pendulum. It doesn't mean you can't have a sprinkle of victim in there every now and again. But really just like, wow, when that's showing up, what can I do to bring balance back, right? It's not a right or wrong thing. It's like, how do I stay in balance? And how do I stay conscious enough about it? So on the other end of the spectrum, when the energy is very excessive in the root, it can feel very strong and dominating, just like a bully. The archetype of the bully is what comes up here. Egotistical, or we could even say anyone you might know that has more narcissistic type tendencies, people that are really wrapped up in the ego, in materialism, in greed. I don't want to just say people, because sometimes we have moments of this also, right? Where we can be possessive, dominant, controlling, judgmental, and really attached to our physical experiences. So, for example, using sexuality, sex becomes really more just about that physical experience rather than all the other beauties that can come from such a intimate experience with another. So one of the things that I also like to put into the container of excessive energy is we really think of feeling attached and feeling attached to those physical things in your life, including your body. And that attachment is very heavy. And when we get too excessive in this energy center, the attachment can really have us act out in a lot of different ways. Maybe you're thinking of some yourself right now. So this really is, I mean, maybe a lot of you have even heard of the word grounding, right? But really, like, what is that and why are we doing it? Because I feel like sometimes, well, especially in a lot of the work that I do, there's shifts that can occur in our bodies and our minds and in our hearts, but sometimes we're not able to see them like a distinct line, right? Like when we're thinking about grounding, it's not something like the very first time you put your feet on dirt, all of a sudden your mood is just going to shift. It doesn't really work like that, right? But it can if maybe you take a walk with no shoes on. You know, it's not instant, but the practices over time will give you more connection to the shifts that can happen within your experience of life. By exercising more ways to feel grounded and to activate the root chakra. So some of the benefits, it can help you with sleep, it can improve your mood, it can literally, I think there's this exchange in our electromagnetic field where the earth actually can literally take the stress out of the physical body. It helps support our healing. It helps support our immune systems, and then also inflammation. So inflammation can show up a lot of times in our bodies, and grounding is going to help release that. So what is grounding? Back to that again, like, how do I know I'm doing it? There's an energy exchange that goes down into the earth. It's like you're plugging in. So just like we take, a electrical thing and we plug it into the wall, think of yourself, think of your feet just like those prongs, and you're plugging it into the earth and the world around you. And it completes this circuit, and it makes us a channel for this energy to flow. And some of that is stress, right, that we hold on to. The feeling when we ground arises of just feeling held and feeling that sense of inner security. So it's not coming from something outside of us, but it's coming from inside of us. And when we're in a grounding practice, it also keeps us in the now. It, in some cases, can keep us in the body, which definitely is going to keep us in the now. So grounding helps us form a foundation. And some of those activities, I'm a big fan of going barefoot, connected directly to the earth, whether it's the beach or out in the woods or the desert, whatever feels okay on your feet and your heart. But there's other things. Work is actually, it can be really grounding, but we want to be careful not to be excessive, right? So that would be an example of, we could even be excessive about doing earth chakra stuff, right? So we can look at these activities from a couple different perspectives. One, when I look at work, do I feel balanced, or am I being excessive with it, or am I not doing enough? And how is that impacting me? A lot of physical activity, because it involves the actual body, can be very, very grounding. When we connect to the earth, whether it's jumping in the ocean or walking, like on the earth, as I mentioned. And then when we really engage the lower half of the body, so jumping up and down, kicking, jogging, anything that really engages the body, getting a massage, even resting your body can be very grounding. Eating can be really grounding. In fact, I had a client once that one of the things we were working on is she just felt like she would go into binge eating sometimes, and she couldn't really grasp why she was doing it. And we concluded that we thought maybe she just didn't feel grounded. So when she would go into the binges, it would help her find that ground. We were able to find other activities that she could do before she goes directly to food to see if that impacted those behaviors at all. This energy center is also connected to our survival. So if you were with us last week, there was an image that was up. These energy centers exist up and down the spine, but they're not something we can actually touch. Chakras are vortexes of energy. And this particular one is connected to survival. The chakras are also located, ironically, where our nervous system has these ganglia, little branches that go up and down the spine. And so think of these little branches as an information highway. And they're always out there, whether they're looking into the internal responses or external influences, they are communicating to your nervous system. And one of the things that they're determining is your survival threatened? All of the consciousness of the root chakra brings it towards survival. It's very instinctual, very basic needs. Maslow's basic needs, right? Food, water, shelter. When those things are threatened, it's really hard to have any kind of a ground, right? Because those are some basic things that we need. Again, this is where I had it. Our survival needs, how have they been met over a lifetime, or are they being threatened situationally? What happens is an unconscious, you're not aware of it, response that happens in your physiology. And when your survival is threatened, you get mobilized. Your blood starts to move faster. Your heart starts to pump faster, right? And your senses become more mobilized and active and ready to respond. So this is really where that consciousness is of survival and supporting ourselves. Our nervous system responds when we feel threats. But sometimes the threats aren't real, right? And the body still responds. So this is a really, really powerful place to kind of just deepen the understanding of self by really asking yourself some questions like, who do you need to get permission from to take care of yourself? Is there anyone else in your life besides you that maybe just like in your unconscious, you don't even know it's there, that you're finding that you have to get permission from to be able to really take care of yourself? You know, before we even go, what is the fear of grounding or becoming stable and standing on your 2 feet? Really just first even asking yourself, is that there? Does my survival feel threatened in any way? And who do you, like, when you think of who's responsible for that, who is responsible for your survival? If you had to honestly answer that question to yourself. And also looking at just in your thinking, are you somebody that thinks like logically and rationally, or are you kind of more of a dreamer? And again, there's no right or wrong. It's just how do we find some balance, right? Because if you're too rigid and you're not dreaming, that's not going to be useful because you're going to limit yourself. But if you're constantly living in a dream and you're not grounding any of it into manifestation and reality, then those dreams are just going to be kind of somewhere that are not attainable and not being fulfilled in your life. As I mentioned, the root chakra is all about the body. It's about being in this, what I call meat suit sometimes, and really allowing ourselves to feel that, because this is the container for our spirit and our soul, right? And every one of our organs and all the different parts of our body has a consciousness. In fact, this energy center of the first chakra and our physical bodies are our first kind of expression of our personal form. And to really understand our bodies, we have to be the body. And I know that sometimes that can feel uncomfortable because when we are the body, sometimes there are uncomfortable sensations that we have to deal with also. But the dialogue that the body has is extremely powerful. One of the things that I do with a lot of the clients that I work with is we will go through and we will have them write a statement of each part of the body. Like if the liver was going to make a statement, what would it say? I feel, or I am. And as we go through the different parts of the body, then afterwards, we read it back and I have them actually speak it out loud. And it's really fascinating because when you listen to what your body just said, it will give you a lot of information above and beyond sometimes what even medical teams might give us, right? Because we have that deep inner wisdom and it is in our body. Wait a minute, I think I missed one. No, I guess not. Okay. So what are some things that we can do to balance the energy of the root chakra? Well, when we are not feeling balanced, affirmations are a really powerful thing. I am enough, I am here, I am safe, I am grounded, I am secure, I am supported, my roots are strong, I trust more and fear less. And then I am very much an advocate of working with the body. So even when you're like looking at these affirmations or writing them or speaking them, I would, maybe sit down and notice, like, where do I feel that? When I say I am enough and I'm here, where do I feel that in my body? Do I feel it in my legs? Do I feel it in my belly? Do I feel it in my heart? Am I not connected to it at all? Because affirmations, if you want to make them really potent, you want to bring in the feeling and you want to really know where it is in your body. So that's one of the things that I recommend when working with affirmations. So anything really that has the energy of the earth, like I have a big pine cone right here on my desk that I like to have there to represent that element of ground. But stones and crystals are really, really powerful. And these ones in particular are known of holding the energy of the earth element, even at a higher level. So if you're somebody that likes to work with the electromagnetic field of stones and crystals, bloodstone, tourmaline, black tourmaline, which is what the image is, hematite, tiger's eye, another one of my favorites, so pretty, and red jasper are some options. And then one of our most powerful senses is our scent, our sense of smell. And essential oils can be really useful also to help us ground. So if you're somebody that generally, like one of my clients have had trauma, we'll find an aroma blend that works for them that they can have when they're out in the world, because sometimes they get pulled out of the body, they get anxious, they need something to help ground them. And those scents become really, really useful. Or even when, you're going to sleep or something, you can get a diffuser and have the scents going that way. So if it is grounding, awesome. But like there are going to be choices of food that are going to really cultivate a deeper connection to the earth, right? So, for example, eating a Twinkie or eating a head of lettuce is probably going to have less of a grounding frequency than if you were to eat some beets. And if you don't like beets, think of any root vegetable. Maybe it's potatoes or sweet potatoes or turnips that are going to give you a sense of ground. And then another way to feel grounded through food is also protein. And just keeping in mind when we go to the food to ground us, that we are taking care of the vehicle, right? So we want to also choose items that are going to be high vibes when they come into our bodies to give us energy and be receptive as nutritional forces in our experience of being alive. Yoga is another type of exercise that one can do, really anything, okay, to get into your body. And then there's specific poses that when I work with clients, we use a lot of yoga postures for multiple reasons. You'll see in a moment, that help cultivate more of a sense to that grounding sensation in our bodies. There are guided meditations. You can do sound healing. The guided meditation that I did, I have it on my YouTube. You can just go onto YouTube and type in Root Chakra meditations, and there will be a list of them, I'm sure, that come up. And then you find the person that does it the way you like, right? Because everybody's going to have their person. And then sound is another really powerful way to also bring balance to these energy centers. So there, again, through YouTube, you could just do Root Chakra sound healing, and there will be a multitude of different options that come up. And also, I just want to acknowledge, like with the root chakra, it's the deeper sounds. It's like shamanic drumming and things like that that kind of help bring in that sense of ground. So how do we harness the energy of the root chakra in our lives? So first and foremost, I think just bringing our awareness to that we have an energetic body, and that within this energetic body and within our physical nervous system, there is a communication happening. And by awakening that consciousness, we can start to do things like look at, wow, am I noticing a particular imbalance, an archetype pattern that is related to this energy center? And is it feeling excessive, or is it feeling underactive, or do I feel imbalanced? When we are able to tune into our energetic self, we can identify our needs better so that we can bring balance back into our lives. Expanding our awareness is a really powerful tool in all areas of our life. And as we explore our energetic bodies, it's something that we also would be working on. So yoga is a really great way to open that up for ourselves. When we are able to just even be aware that the root chakra might be out of balance or energetically might not feel good, then we can bring in that sense of ground and balance. We can bring it into the perspectives in our relationships. We can see what needs more tending. We can see how to increase our confidence, empowerment, our sense of agency and autonomy. And I do want to just note that I am aware that we are past 30 minutes, so I'm going to do the next two super fast. Just wanting to say that when I work with people, we work with yoga to help balance the body energetically. There's different ways that we do it. Of course, the physical postures are one, but we're working directly with the nervous system and then using depth psychological practices to do deeper work to create transformation in our lives. Thank you so much for your time and your energy, and for all of you hanging in there, as I know I went over a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was, just a wonderful eye-opening session on the root chakra. So I'm glad to know some ways that we can all work on balancing that out. So thank you.